is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Episode number 158.
158. We already sang.
I'm Jake. Was Tyler.
That was me.
But
I'll see myself out.
Yep.
Finish it! Finish it!
And we are here today to kick some ass, talk about stuff that you have seen on the internet.
It's game over, man. It's game over.
They turned it off.
Fuck.
That was the
Well,
that was
swore.
the listener.
I swore.
Yeah.
No.
It's your fault. It's your fault. Be mad at yourself.
No, the listener is like Arnold when he's talking to
yeah.
the Predator.
Come in!
Wow. How many drops can we do in the first minute? That's impressive, honestly. I wanted to make a quick note before we get into things.
Oh, we're off panel, off topic. I don't think we said.
Well, we say in the intro.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole theme song.
Episode 158. He figured it out.
No. It's just we almost
Always mention that
when we do a cold open, we start the, we're recording it and we start the theme song and then we start recording at the end of it.
Yeah.
And today we did, of course, we started at the end of it, but it just. Did you say what we're called? Shit! They're never gonna find us on the internet again. God damn it!
Anyway,
Just waking up everybody in the house. I'm sorry, your family.
yeah.
It's the tragedy of modern science.
So before we get into it, we're going to be talking about The Boys, The Acolyte, Captain America 4 trailer, and Booster Gold rumors.
We got a long box.
And some long boxing. But before we get into that, I just want to mention Modern Mythology is going to be on this feed. We tried to do a separate feed for it, but I had to go through another level of verification and things like that to have its own feed. So I just kind of said, okay, well, we're just going to try and do this. So we're no longer...
It's under the off-panel, off-topic umbrella.
Yeah, so we're going to...
Just make a playlist, baby.
Every 2... Well, yes, it's on our YouTube channel. It's also just going to be on this feed as well. So it's every 2 weeks. So we had an episode last Friday. We're going to have an episode on the 26th. So every 2 weeks, there'll be a new episode. And
until we run
it'll just
out of
be here.
ideas.
Yeah. And then we'll take a break. And it's not going to be... This isn't going anywhere. This is going to remain a weekly thing. But that is going to be something that is just going to kind of float around. It's just something we're doing for fun.
For fun. You know what? I think one of the...
Come in!
I hit the wrong one. I meant to hit this one.
Sloppy.
Yeah, well, either way.
Yeah.
I
What'd you do?
I think there's... I'm trying to think of when we get to a point where neither one of us wants to explain anything to the other because we don't have to because we know everything.
Well, and we're gonna have different. The idea is to have different hosts come in and
let's do a deep dive into strawberry shortcake.
Why not? I'm here for it.
Did you know I had a purple pie man when I was young? Because he smelled like a pie, like a blueberry pie.
A purple pie man?
They all smelled like something. And my cousin had the girl dolls because they had
My cousin had the turd one.
purple
It smelled like shit.
Shit. No, that was my doll.
We were the poor ones.
We got literally shit on by
Yeah.
the rest of the family. Just kidding.
All the poor kids had the mudslide. The mudslide Marvin, he's shit.
Oh, you said you wanted to sled outside in the hill in the snow on the hill? Well, you have to slide it. You have to never mind. You have to slide inside.
Stop! This plane is crashed, ladies and gentlemen. You did not
Get the parachute.
So anyway, the boys.
Lash the steering wheel and get the fuck out of there. Now!
We have another episode coming up. Luke Moyer is going to be on the show. We're going to be talking about Dark Knight's Metal, July 26th.
Shakaroni.
Talk about The Boys, season 4, episode 7.
I didn't like it.
Ooh,
It's too much violence.
Oh,
Too much.
wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm tired of all the blood. I'm tired of the political, stuff.
well, I think
I mean, really, when you get down to it, this is politics, man. Who wants to talk about it,
Well, I think a lot of people are getting a mixed feeling from this, and I do. Again, I do see more of the setting things up for season 5.
Yeah.
It's especially in this episode. I think where it's headed, it's gonna end in a crazy. I think the finale is gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And so in the book, I did more research into this. In the book, it's not a virus; it's a bomb that kills all soups.
Is Kessler in the book?
I can't remember. But yeah, Butcher does it with a bomb and not a virus. And
How is it?
he also kills.
Does he get them all in one place?
It just when it goes off, it's kind of like the virus where I don't know. I don't remember, dude. It somehow who fucking cares? The point. I hate the book. So anyway, but in the
it's
in the
a
book,
fucking bomb. It's like fucking. I don't give a shit.
pretty much. So when Butcher, Mother's Milk finds out about it, and he gets hit with a grenade in the face and dies. So Butcher kills him, and then Butcher blows up Kimiko and Frenchie in their apartment. And so
How?
it's just Huey and Butcher.
How does he kill?
He blew him
Kimiko?
up.
Was
They blew
Kimiko a
up.
soup?
I don't know. Maybe just let me explain it, please.
I'm trying to, but when I ask you like little things, you're like, "Rrr." I guess we're not
Well,
doing
I
a
don't know,
modern
because
mythology on the Boys comic book.
Well, I just think that the show is going to end up so differently than the book anyway.
Probably.
I think it is going to ultimately end with Huey.
So it's just him and
in
Huey.
the book, Huey kills Butcher, and I imagine the same.
How does he do it?
They God, now I'm trying to remember. They get into a fight, and they fall down. I can't remember if it was God, because this is after they killed Homelander, and there's a fight, and I can't remember if it was the Statue.
How'd
of
they
Liberty
kill
or something.
Homelander? With the bomb.
Yeah, with the bomb.
Okay.
Well,
So
Butcher
all the
hits him
suits
with
are
a
dead.
crowbar after. There's a fight between Homelander and Black Noir. You know what? Fuck this. I'm not. We're talking about the show. Because I'm like, if I go down this, I have to explain all the fucking the Homelander Black Noir shit. That's not even gonna be in the show.
Woo!
Ugh,
I love you, man.
I love you.
I
love you.
Sometimes.
Slurp.
For our ASMR friends. Right, we lost all the rest of the listeners. You ready?
And those
Let's do the
well,
real
those
show.
guys fucking crashed.
No, this is the real show.
They got too hard.
We got rid of everybody. Now it's just us. Let's
Now
do the
shoot
real
me,
show.
Tyler.
Let's do the real show.
Let's talk about the book. Boys, season 4, episode 7.
So,
Why didn't you like this one?
I totally did. I was joking.
Oh,
I
was totally okay to have this conversation because I feel like you and I are going to probably differ on the Acolyte later. So,
yeah, I think so. But the Boys, I mean, I get that. Like, okay, obviously it took you a while to saw her leg off at the end.
ooh,
But the other guy has one leg. I'm sure you could probably go find him, even after all that.
yeah, I know. Right, like I don't think they were worried that because they could catch
So
up
the
to him.
fact
He
that
only
he's-
has one leg.
So the fact that he's gone, like, that's weird. And where
And
was
he's very malnourished.
Right. I mean, what the fuck, right? Anyway, I did love, of course. Excuse me. The character of the Deep is such a piece of shit, And every time,
Yeah, we're kind of jumping all over the place. Let's. No, on that, let's talk about the Deep's arc in this episode. So yeah, continue. He's a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, like there's been points in the show where they've kind of sort of been, it leans towards redemption at parts, but it's always fleeting.
Yeah, because then when the moment you think he's redeemed, he fucks an octopus, and you're like, okay, learn nothing.
Or he reads some of his poetry.
Yeah, but
or he kills the octopus. Like lets it.
Yeah, let's organize the thoughts here. So she is like,
did you?
So
are we supposed to laugh while we're waiting for her to die? I mean, you know what I mean? Because like she would like.
No, I think for me the way I read it was the impact was like, this is supposed to remind you how much you hate this guy because his own jealousy, he let this defenseless creature die.
I get you, but to me, like the idea that you would just have so much time and then like that's like to me like a comedic, like a black comedy thing.
Okay, I didn't read it as.
Do you remember
humorous.
the Dungeons and Dragons movie where they find they have to wake all the dead people up because they fucked that up? Like that's black comedy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
like
that's
dark comedy.
That's the way dark comedy. That's why. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if you thought I meant something else.
No, I was just.
But there's.
I've heard that term before.
There's. I mean, there's effectiveness to it if you do it right. And I'm not saying that it was. I just felt like it was played for laughs, and I'm like, that's kind of horrible.
I didn't read it that way, but okay. I see how somebody could maybe, but.
But yeah, he's a giant piece of shit, and my favorite thing was, we talk a lot about, the chuds and whatnot, and it's really stupid to label each other, but I talk about like the toxic, guys and shit, and I see these motherfuckers all over the place. Like this dude had a pink trucker hat, like on backwards, like just placed just on top of his head, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to throw up, and they're all over in this state, like all over. and that's the Deep, right? And when we know that he sexually assaulted Starlight, and he's coming after her in the Flatiron, and he says to her, like, what, an innocent man? That's just what you do to white guys nowadays. That's the fuck who we're talking about. Fuckheads like that who know that they're guilty of being shitheads, but still insist that they're innocent because they're just a straight white Christian in this fucking hellhole of a country.
It's just a joke that I showed you my dick. It was just a joke that I had my dick out like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and in that kind of mentality where it's that
and I know
like, why are you being weird? It was just a fucking joke, dude. Like,
I understand that it's kind of hitting you in the face with that, and it could be more satirical, it could be more, whatever. But honestly, like it's a perfect representation of the type of fuck facery that we're dealing with in this country right now. There are a lot of guys in this country right now who are going like, well, good guy or fuckface with like YouTube and like TikTok, and they're all choosing like the left hand, like or the right hand. Sorry, I should say. Oh, let's do this. Let's be fuckfaces because we get more attention.
It's
whatever.
More money, rages, more
what
money.
The fuck ever, right? Instead of being good men and understanding how to treat others and women and how to treat and how to be an evolved
well, it also shows how
they're choosing this easy bullshit, going to the gym fucking 4 times. You know what I mean? Like that kind of bullshit.
Well, and this also plays into
drives me nuts.
To what he was how bought into Homelander's vision that the Deep is, where he truly believes he's better than human beings and that he is a superior god, he's a wrathful god.
Why do you think Trump is doing so successfully? Because he's telling like all these fuckfaces like it's okay to be a fucking jackass. I've been a jackass all my life, and look at me.
Yeah.
Even though they're never going to have the protection,
and like
whatever.
what he said in the last episode, when I paralyze someone, they don't laugh anymore, and it's just like
that's kind of thought. It's like, listen, nobody's fucking with you.
Yeah.
So if you're going around paralyzing and killing people because you think they're laughing at you, you're a sociopath.
Yeah, and you're an insecure, pathetic
And you
person.
shouldn't honestly be allowed in public.
And
Or allowed to have a gun. I'm sorry.
so I will say there are some flaws in this episode.
Or have superpowers.
I do agree there are some issues with the episode. I think again characters aren't killed out of convenience when they what explanation do they have for not fucking killing the Deep? The Black Noir situation, they don't know his power set because he was flying. They're like, what the fuck? He flies, and
because he's a weird.
they were shooting him and it wasn't hurting. I understand being like, we can't fucking kill him because we don't know how. But the Deep, I feel like you should have just fucking killed him. I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. They had every reason to kill him. And then that sends a message back to Homelander to be like, say, stop fucking with us. But yeah, it's just.
I don't know.
But I will say the scene with him and Black Noir was funny when we find out that fucking Sage didn't lobotomize herself to fuck Black Noir, but she had to for the Deep, which is unbelievably funny.
By the way, yeah, it's hilarious. By the way, there's a great scene in The Wire that I've told you about where the two cops say nothing but motherfuck or fuck or derivations of the word.
Bro.
Yes. When they're walking down the hallway, that's exactly what that was, dude. It's them communicating with one word, you know? I think Sage is going to join the boys. I think she's going to lend her talents to them and be like, hey, I know exactly what he's going to do, or at least I can probably...
Okay,
I can probably tell you.
So
I'm
that's
smarter
also
than he
another
is.
thing. So Firecracker
Firecracker
imposes her
well, she didn't. I don't think she
thoughts.
understood
how crazy Homelander was, or how
when
far
she
gone
saw
he
him
was.
rip fucking.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
No.
Jesus, Sage. So yeah, she's more influential on Homelander because
Well-
his kryptonite is breast milk.
At the end, he was
And-
like, "Get the fuck away!"
Well,
from
hold
me."
on. Jesus, man. You gotta fucking milk it.
You gotta milk it.
Yeah, I gotta milk it.
Milk it.
Tell the story.
Tell
But
the
anyway.
story. Milk it. Milk it a little. 2%.
So she thinks she knows who the leak is, so she thinks it's Web Weaver, right? So and her impact is bigger on Homelander because she seems more loyal because again she breastfed.
Also, the whole web weaver just like webbing the whole.
Oh yeah, so it shows
I'm
up.
sorry.
So it shows up and Web Weaver's freaking out, and yeah, he just poops out web shit pretty much.
She thinks he's the leak, but Homelander gets him to
because they're like,
reveal-
how did they get your suit?
Right.
Pretty much.
Homelander gets him to reveal that it was just he just gave him the suit. He knows nothing.
Yeah.
And that's when Homelander loses his shit.
Yeah, so then he grabs him by the arm, kind of like Beowulf and like Grendel, when like he like rips off Grendel's arm. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
I don't know what I
But-
didn't know what was going to happen.
But he digs his hands into he just grabs his arm and grabs his head and then just pulls him apart, and it's gory and violent and there's blood spurting everywhere. I was watching it with my wife. She just goes, she goes, oh my God, like whoa! I was just like, and it kind of looked like, and this is what I love about.
Haven't we seen him tear somebody in half before?
I don't think it was that like because that was a very.
Or am I thinking of
like,
King Shark?
But I mean, like how practical, like how good of a job they did in making that like dummy, like like how it was close up, and like how practical. I think it looks as bad as it does because for most part it seems pretty practical, and then you see a lot of the CG blood and shit a little bit later. But like, I remember watching.
I mean, I thought he was going to pull his arm off.
Yeah,
I didn't
you
know
didn't
he was
expect him
gonna
to rip him like
in-
completely
yeah,
apart.
in
But
half.
like, it reminded me of, and this is what I think is interesting about violence and gore and how tone changes everything. It almost looks very similar to the scene in the Suicide Squad when King Shark rips a dude apart.
Yeah.
And it's like lightning, and it's just played for like this really cool, awesome moment.
Yeah.
And in this scene, it's played as like, oh my God, he just fucking rips someone in half like he was tissue paper. Like, it's just, that's what I love about how this like how this world is building towards what it's building towards. And like, the look on his face of like the blood splurting all over him, and he's just kind of like, nothing about it.
And she's fucking horrified.
Because this isn't the first time he's been covered in blood and guts. Like, this is nothing new, like, for him.
He just did it.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. Yeah.
No, he just did it like a little while ago.
Yeah, a few episodes ago.
Probably
And
last
and
episode.
then Firecracker, I think that moment is when she, and this is kind of an interesting interpretation, too, of like, oh, now she's in the real shit. She wasn't understanding that we've got fucking internment camps. We've got a man ripping people apart just because he's pissed. Because he's annoyed. Because he's annoyed.
Low level.
I don't even think he believed Webweaver. He was just annoyed and ripped him apart.
So now Homelander, can we, before we move on to anything else, can we talk about the fucking when they find the shooter and they think it's somebody like being held captive?
Yeah. And so that was another cool thing. I was, again, watching it.
Is that character in?
I don't know.
But I thought she was just ripping her face off for no reason.
No, yeah, so what I thought was interesting, when I picked up on something when she was like, she stared at that lady for a little bit too long. I'm like, I'm wondering, and I thought it was just going to be like, and this is what's so, like, of course it is, because it has to be for this world, because it's like, there are times that I'm like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
It could just be normal, but we have to be disgusting because it's the boys. And in a normal because I was waiting for her to just go bloop, or whatever, and just like fucking
she
change.
has to like pull
but
off.
she literally rips the skin off her body like it's a cocoon into this other person. I'm like, good God! Like, I just was like, it's so gross. And I picked up on it when I saw the chunk before they did. I was like, oh, is she pulling? And then it just like next scene is just.
I honestly thought she was just. It was her power to create diversion.
Yeah.
Or make people slip if they're. I had no idea what she was
like
doing.
Clumping on, like or like it was Clayface, maybe.
I had
some
no
kind of,
fucking clue, right?
But this is just.
But this
like
leads
a more
into one of the big
disgusting
twists at the end of the episode.
Which, by the way, I'd like to shout out my wife. I called the Kessler twist. She called this twist, because the woman that takes the selfie at the bar, Ashley goes, "That's a shapeshifter." She knew, because she goes. Now she's got a picture of her so she can make a copy.
Well, she also touched her.
Yeah, and she touched her. And she touched Huey.
Good,
she got Huey's blood. She touched it so she could turn into him too. And then that reveal, it is kind of fucked up, because I will say
well, we should
there are
known
some
when
criticisms
when she wore the suit.
Another bit of criticism I do have, it is a little frustrating that Huey gets raped twice in 2 fucking episodes, because he was, the thing with Ashley in the previous episode, and then the shapeshifter being Starlight, she raped him because he thought it was his girlfriend, his fiance, and it's like, fucking come on, man. But the reveal was pretty insane, because I was like, fuck me, because when she gets up and starts walking to the closet, that's when I knew. I was like, son of a bitch.
It was right about the time.
But contextually, it does get a little frustrating. Where it's like, man, I just wish something good would happen. His dad died. He's been through a lot of shit already, and then this.
It's a good another.
And now
level.
she's held captive, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what do we do?
So now they're gonna pin it on Starlight. She's gonna assassinate the president as Starlight, and you're like, fuck. And it's just like
weird. Somebody tried to assassinate somebody else yesterday.
I feel like the worst part is in true The Boys fashion. But here's the thing: someone has to die for me. I feel like someone has to really die in this next episode, in the finale, because I'm
Did
gonna
you think
be
Kimiko's going?
Because I did, yeah, for a minute.
I was hoping not, because I really like Karen Fukuhara.
But I'm just really frustrated, because it's like, yeah, we're gonna end up in the same shit.
Kill Frenchie off already.
We gotta pay something off.
Yeah.
Before season 5, and it's just too many times these characters. Yes, they should be dead, or they should have killed some other character. Like, we gotta have someone. We gotta get some blood.
You know, I hate to say it, but you know who I kind of want to see like come out on top at Vought?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see Ashley end up on top.
But she's just as bad as them. She's awful.
I know. But I think that would be like the biggest twist, like out of everybody.
I want to say I do appreciate, and I hope
the A-Train shit with her.
But they got to pay this off too. Like they have to commit to him being good because they've done it almost every season. They've teased him coming back around.
Yeah.
So to see him actually be active and in deep seeing it and being like, "You're the leak," and him being like, "Yes, I like." Come on. Pretty much. And then have that moment with Mother's Milk where he finally has a moment. It just took one moment of him feeling heroic to finally understand and get the fucking point of what these characters... That
was a really cool moment, that episode.
And I am telling you right now, that is why I appreciate the show more than the comic, because there are not moments like that in the comic book. The comic book is extremely cynical. The show is very cynical. But it does understand and have moments of like, okay, you can understand why you could get behind somebody like A-Train. You still can't forgive him for the things he's done. He has killed people for Homelander.
When you look at the comic, Garth Ennis has stated publicly that he's never read a full Stan Lee comic book in his life, and I call bullshit on that. Go fuck yourself. You're just an asshole trying to fucking get clout for yourself, honestly.
It's like,
I love your work on Punisher and shit, but don't fucking tell me you never read Fantastic Four #1 straight through. There've been reprints all.
I've only read the Punisher.
Yeah, wonderful.
Isn't
dude.
he Scottish? I hope I'm not being offensive.
Well, honestly,
I'm not trying to. I don't have any problems with the guy. I just feel like the show is very cynical.
I don't really have problems with him either. My point is that his point of the boys. Sorry, God, his point about the boys comic book was, I'm going to burn this fucking shit to the ground and leave ashes and piss on the ashes.
Yeah, this is why I hate superhero comics, and this is going to be...
The point of the show is, let's burn down these tropes and then build it up in a better way. But also build it up in an unexpected way and burn it down in an unexpected way. And toy with your expectations and whatnot and your perceptions of who's good, who's bad, and whatnot. And then add a bunch of fucking really hardcore violence and sex in there.
I do...
But I think the message is ultimately
logically,
hopeful.
There is frustration because there are some plot holes of like, well, they could have killed Firecracker in episode 2. Mm-hmm. They could have killed the Deep in this episode. Again, I understand at least narratively not killing Noir because I don't know how. But... And then, the big twist.
It would have been satisfying as
the big
fuck
twist,
to see.
But the Frenchie... Okay, I want to go off on this. The Frenchie storyline, like you said, kill him. Kill him in this season. Because you have clearly shown you don't know what to fucking do with him.
Boring.
Because you had the storyline with Charlie, then you wrap that up. Then he goes to jail, misses out on an episode, and then just comes back because we can get presidential pardons. We've already set that precedent with Stan Edgar or whatever. So he's out back and doing the thing. And it's like... What was the point of that? Like, either keep him out and not bring him back until the next season.
Yeah, why did you have Kimiko sit there for day after day after day, and then and now they're friends again? And he's probably
she was mad at first, but then she just warmed up to it, and then like, oh my god, like that.
How many times have we seen this conversation take place between these two fucking characters?
This has been the most frustrating. And look, of all the criticisms of this season, I agree. The Frenchie storyline is fucking stupid, and it's a waste. And
I like the character too.
And there's some moments that I enjoy. Like I loved his little drug trip shit, and I liked that he has some guilt. But then just to have him be like, "Oh, I've killed people, many people, put me away."
Yeah, fuck off,
and then
man.
And then that's it. And then he's gone an episode, and then like, well, he's back now to help with the drugs.
Why couldn't you just have him come back, do his little guilt thing at the beginning of the season, and then just make him a character that just is kind of there helping?
Yes, and start that at the beginning.
I don't need any more Frenchie backstory. I don't need any more Frenchie
backstory. Cut out the Charlie stuff and just have him in jail and then bring him back in this episode or the episode before and have that bit. And then have that all that stuff with Kimiko. You could do that, and you could find what you just say he has a bad drug trip and he feels guilty for all of it. You don't even have to have the romance angle or any, like, such a fucking waste. It is complete waste. And then, but I will not take away from the amazing ending to that sequence. So it was crazy that Samir gets away, stabs her, runs out, and Steal My Sunshine is playing in the background.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hold on to this and focus on this because I'm going to have to fucking cut your leg off before this infection gets in. And as soon as it happened, did you think the same thing? I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna have to cut off her leg. Like as soon as
Yeah,
he stabbed
yeah,
her leg, I was like,
yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Because we were both like, oh fuck, he's gonna have to cut her leg
didn't-
off.
I didn't think still that he would get it in time. That
Yeah, I thought
I
I thought she was gonna die.
I thought the ultimate tragedy was that in her last moments, she had to endure him, and he had to, do that to her, and she still ended up dying. You know what I mean? Like, that would be the ultimate tragedy to me.
Yeah.
But she did end up surviving. Now they have her leg to extract the blah blah blah.
So
the
but that's also a nice
da.
way. That's also an interesting way of keeping that that thread of like, well, we can still reproduce it because it worked. We already know in the previous episodes it worked on the sheep.
Yeah, I like Kamiko too. But here's the thing: during that conversation that we were just complaining about, she explains about her childhood, but like it makes no sense because. I mean, what are we doing? Is this a duel to the death? Because the girl she dueled there is still alive.
Blame her for the whole thing, and
I don't know what the
like
fuck.
Kamiko
That's
brought
another
her
thing.
in.
That's another thing.
What are we doing with that?
What
are we doing?
Why are we not taking Frenchie and Kamiko and pairing them off to go take fucking Rising Sun the fuck out? Give us some sort of satisfaction in this stupid fucking dystopian fucking nightmare that you've created.
And okay, Kamiko and Frenchie, especially in this season, feel so padded because they don't know what to do with them in this season, and we're just trying to get to the final season with those characters. And it's like, well, then just do what you did and take them out and have them go do that. Have them go run off and fight the Rising Sun. Show that at the end of an episode or some shit.
Fuck.
Take them out for this season because clearly you gave more attention to the Butcher, Huey, Starlight, Homelander shit. You took more time and attention with that, which is fine. Commit to that. Stop doing this back and forth bullshit.
God, I hate this show.
God. No, this is the only frustrating for me.
No, I know. Me too.
I'm trying to make a point of like I've enjoyed this season, but I do understand some of the criticism, and I think some of them are valid. I do think that like there has to be a serious death at the end of the season, otherwise it's like, oh well, we should have got Homelander, we didn't get him, and he got away again. Gosh darn it! And then it's gonna pay off in season 5.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, come on. They should have never said that. You should never have said 5 seasons or anything like that, because then it's going to set this precedent for this very season to feel like filler for the next season. And honestly, I would push back and say, for me, Kamiko and Frenchie are the only ones that feel like their story is not moving forward at all, and it's just kind of stuck in this bullshit where all these other characters are actually moving forward.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Well,
anyway.
I still
but a great episode overall.
I still generally liked it.
Me as well.
Most of the there was some really good moments and everything in the episode, and I'm looking forward to the finale. I think it's gonna be fucking crazy, and it's weird that both that show and the next show we're talking about, The Acolyte, have finales this week. Look at that segue.
I can tell you something right now. I think we're gonna differ here.
Fucking segue.
I want you to tell me how you felt, because I don't want to take away from how you feel for this episode.
Take away from how you felt.
Because I feel like, again, you and I are gonna be on opposite sides. Maybe.
My life.
Talk about it.
What?
I am not mad or excited or anything. I just don't care.
My thoughts on this episode is my brother said something like, I'm definitely interested in eating what they're serving, but I kind of want more of it. He said he was gonna wait and binge The Acolyte at the end of the season because he's heard stuff but he hasn't watched it or I don't know if he's been watching it and then he's gonna binge it again. And I think that's a good idea. But here's the thing. I think this could have and should have been. I don't understand why Disney Plus doesn't take the initiative to make Star Wars and Marvel movies for Disney Plus.
Yes, because this could have very easily been a movie.
It should have been a movie.
It should have been a movie. Obi-Wan should have been a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what
Smaller
a great
budget, yeah.
What a great this would have if a small budget. Totally, take out all the grandeur and all the shit, all the window dressing from this show, and put it like in an hour 45, hour 50, something like that, and make it like really gritty and about the characters and whatever. Take the CGI.
Yeah.
What a great fucking and you do the same exact thing. Maybe not so much focusing on the witches, but you have to have those two perspectives, right? And then at the end of it, hey, by the way, guess who's the bad guy? Saul.
Why?
Come on, man.
Why?
That's really what
that sounded exactly.
Yeah,
do
I
it
know.
Again.
Why? You know what else I need to do? I need to get the drop.
Give me.
I need to get the Liam Neeson drop from Darkman.
Which one?
There's a drop where he says why 4 times in a row. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause and get that right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I don't have time. Because I'd have to edit the clip and it's just too much time. But anyway.
Why?
Oh, here's what we're going to do.
Why?
There you go. But imagine that as Liam Neeson.
The production values on the show.
That is how much. By the way, that
awesome.
is how much I'd rather. That's how little I care about this episode. I'd rather play with the soundboard.
Wow.
No, dude, it's not that.
The Acolyte. I thought you were talking about our show, and I'm like,
No.
you dick.
The Acolyte. Here's the thing. I was mentioning this to Ashley because I remember
You
watching.
didn't it?
I watched
Go
it.
ahead.
I watched it last night. On Saturday, we were recording on a Sunday, and Sunday, and I was just like, I hadn't really seen anything about the episode. I kind of heard some rumblings about it or some things about it, but I was like, with Star Wars, I never trust anything because there's so many fucking bad faith losers.
So
out
let me
there.
get this straight.
So
the show
anyway.
comes out on Tuesday, and you wait until Saturday to watch it. Well, no wonder you're getting it spoiled.
Well, I don't. That's not the point. I'm just saying.
Is it?
No, I'm just saying in general with Star Wars, I just watch it myself because there's so many bad faith people that
Of
just
course.
fucking hate Disney Star Wars. And I'm like, hey, there are valid criticisms against Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars. I myself have made criticisms toward that. And here's my biggest criticism towards the show. I just don't care, man. I don't care.
Wow.
I've gotten to a point where I'm not offended by it. I'm not excited about the next episode. I'm just like, I am so sick. You talk about Disney Plus movie idea. This is what it feels like with these fucking Marvel shows where they do this thing where Moon Knight, where I think is the only one that actually worked because of what the story was going with. But so many of these shows have to be like, second to last episode, let's stop everything and do an origin story or do a flashback, or let's go and do a flashback to a flashback that you've already seen, but it's from a different perspective. By the way, we have a finale next week. Get fucked. I am so sick of that shit.
It's going to be full of CGI and a big battle with somebody.
And I'm sorry, I could not care less about this witch planet and this whole backstory or wherever they're, I don't know, wherever they're at.
My idea, where he's got her, Chimere, he's got her on Brendock, and where is Saul taking May?
Brendock. Anyway, look, there are moments. There are joy.
Excuse me.
But I'm just. We got.
Sorry.
I was going with it. I was like, here we go, and then we go back to this, and I was like, again.
We had to
I think
see
it was you.
what really
maybe,
happened.
Maybe you said it or somebody else said it, and I totally agree. This should have been focused on. I can't think of the character's name. The stranger.
Chimere. I just said it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Chimere. Yeah. Sorry.
The stranger's fine.
Whatever. But
You're so keyed
it should have because it should have focused on him. It should have been about him. The fact that they made it about the twins and continue to try to make me care about this shit is ridiculous.
Hang on.
I don't care.
Wow.
Because what was the point? What was the point of that? Why did Saul kill her? Give me a good reason why he killed her. Give me one. To just say like, hey, Jedi are bad. That's it.
No, he thought she was trying to attack them.
I know, but like
none of
it's
the
just-
adults in
I
this
was
situation
just so
were
bored by this, man. No, that's why I didn't want. That's why I wanted you to go first because I knew you were going to enjoy it more, and I preferred to hear your perspective. I don't want to be I don't want to be super negative.
They sealed their. They kind of sealed their own doom because they put the thing in his head that he wanted to go back to Coruscant. Right.
Yeah.
So as soon as he hears that there's a chance to get back to Coruscant later.
Yeah.
When Indara says we've been ordered back, that's when he freaks out and they have to run after Tobin.
Yeah.
So they kind of did it to themselves, but also the Jedi had no fucking business doing anything in the first place.
Okay.
And Indara should have fucking shut the whole goddamn thing down right away. So all four of them are guilty except for maybe Kelnaka because he's just chilling out. And by the way, how can you not love seeing a fucking Wookiee Jedi?
That is the only redeeming thing in this episode.
Did you see how fucking long his lightsaber was? It was like 8 feet long.
That was the only redeeming
The
part of this
only
episode.
redeeming part of
Yes.
this episode?
Was seeing, being like, okay, I guess we did get to see the Jedi Wookiee. Because, also another thing, and I was watching it with my wife, where it was like, she's like, Wookiees are fucking scary. And I was like, yes, we finally get to see a scary Wookiee. And it's like, this is awesome. And it's also just like, and that whole scene was great. But, like, it's just, I don't know, man. I hate that it kept so much of this show. It doesn't make sense of like this constant need to stop its own momentum. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Maybe just because, and I'm sure this was their intention. This is how they wanted to tell this story. But I just would have preferred a straightforward and straight narrative and have this backstory. Either, personally, I would not have followed the twins. I think the twins, what purpose does it serve other than to just say, like, oh, I guess there's different Force users in the universe, but we already know that. And it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with this whole Star Wars stuff. It's just
What's
like
the point of any story?
That's the
I want to put this out there is that my mom likes to watch like Murder, She Wrote, right? And I'm not going to lie. I've sat down and it's not super great television, but it kind of is. It's not my style, but it kind of is good TV for a different audience, right?
Yeah.
Now, do any of these shows, these stories during this TV? No, but it's there to like help people like learn to be right. I don't know how it works, whatever. The point is that sometimes when I remember that we're doing reviews of shows, I realize I'm like, wait a second. Like, what? And I know that we call out people for different opinions. That's because your opinions potentially hurt others.
And half the time they don't even watch the shit they complain about.
Right. It's just, it's the opposite of virtue signaling. It's chud signal, whatever.
Chud signaling.
Hey, check out my butthole.
No, you know what? That's completely fair. And that's why I wanted you to
But I do like it. Yeah.
I wanted you to be, you to talk about it because you are clearly enjoying it more than I am, and that's totally fine. It's just, it's not connecting with me.
I think you have a very valid point that, and online criticism too. Why did we follow the twins? I get that. I do understand that aspect of it. I don't know if that's just to add a twist into it. Like, hey, we have twins, and then like at one point,
switcheroo and the whole like, wait a minute, it was always about her, yeah. Well, again,
what if the ultimate twist is that they've always been the other one all along?
They parent trapped us the whole time.
Like,
yeah. No.
Here's the other twist,
but
and I told you that I think Kymir has her on Brenda. I think everything is coming to a head on Brenda, and I don't believe that all the witches are dead.
And I want to be very clear too, and because I remember I shared that clip about
I think their mother is
Kevin Smith talking about how he doesn't want to shit on things anymore. Like he doesn't want to talk about movies he doesn't like. And that's the thing. I don't want to come off too negative and like I just feel like me personally, Star Wars has been something that I've been interested in, something that I've watched the movies and things like that, but I've never been someone that is like I've never watched any like animated stuff. I never
Watch some.
I mean, yeah, I like The Mandalorian, but I don't know. There's just some like I've just accepted the fact that like it's a big wide net, it's a big franchise, it's a big IP, and not everything is going to connect with me, and that's fine.
That's fair.
And you know what? If you like it, that's okay.
I generally do.
And so like I don't want and like I'm glad you brought that up because then if I'm like, well, what's the point? You're like, well, what's the point of any story? It's true.
Well,
but
it's designed to tell a fable, or it's designed to make you think about an aspect of life that you may not be thinking about. Every story is there to get you off of your safe spot eventually, or in some way.
And
in
it goes
a big
back
way, in a small way, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
designed to get you to think about something else, either by a diversion from your real life
Yeah.
or a way to connect with your real life in a way that you've never imagined or thought about before. Because, hey, I don't write music like a lot of the people in my Twitter, indie music community. I don't know how to write like that, right? And that's why I love their music, is because they come to it from a completely different mindset. You and I can, like,
Excuse me. I didn't
you
mean
and
to do that
I
into the
can
mic.
have a lot of, when we do like the, we're singing and stuff and we go exactly the right, we're very, very similar, right?
Yeah,
But
the chemistry.
the fact remains is that you and I are different people.
And you might like right here. You enjoy this show more than I do, and that's okay.
Right. And that's why I think, like, if you don't like it, that's okay. But
Okay.
why don't you like it? And
I just- because I feel-
think you have a very valid. It doesn't connect with you.
Yeah.
Anything other than that is of course we
Yeah.
want to hear why.
I feel like at some point there is a time where you can just say and I feel like too many times in life we neglect things simply like if you don't want to do something, all you should ever have to say is I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if somebody asks why, it's just
Maybe the finale will blow your fucking lid off.
not
man.
every time.
You never know.
Not every time, but most of the time.
Every time.
Most of the time, if you're just honest and you just say, I don't want to do that, people move on and when it's whatever. Obviously it depends on context and whatnot. But at the end of the day, at some point for me, I have to look at it and be like, I don't want to keep being a negative person. It's just, okay, clearly this isn't something that I'm enjoying. And if somebody else does, okay. Because at the end of the day, there are some movies that I love that are heaping piles of shit by most people's metrics. And that's okay.
Of course. Have you ever seen Ice Pirates?
I fucking love that movie, dude.
Yeah, but it's a pile of shit.
It's a terrible movie, but I love it.
Battle Behind the Stars?
I am on
that
this
awful Star Wars ripoff? Oh.
on this podcast.
Classic.
I have defended Nacho fucking Libre. Okay, I love that movie. Everybody hates that movie. I love it. So anyway, for me, I feel like this very much feels like it could have been a movie. And I said, which is
sure.
ironic because at the beginning of this series, we were like, this does feel like a TV show. And as the show has progressed, I feel like what you could have done, had that cold open, don't change it. Leave it. But then cut to the twins as kids, do all the witch shit, get that out of the way. If you could, and then have everything else, then I don't know. It's just like I don't even know if I care or want the Saul flashback because it's,
Can I ask you a
what
question?
perspective did I get on
Can I
it?
ask you a question?
What perspective?
Because would any sort of fan service in the finale do you like what if Yoda came in
Tyler?
and killed the stranger
Tyler, I had a moment when I'm watching this
and
episode,
said, "Speak not of this ever again"?
and this is the
Huh?
first. This is the first.
What if he came in? What do you? Honestly,
this is the first time.
Give me your
Let
honest.
me tell you something.
Answer my question.
Absolutely not.
Really?
Because Tyler, while watching this episode, I was thinking, damn, I committed to this, didn't I? Because I'm like, I got to sit through this shit, and then I got to sit through another one.
That's awesome, dude.
Honestly, this is more fun when we don't agree on something.
So what would
I want to make it very clear. Get fucked this show.
Hey, Acolyte,
And if you like
get
it,
fucked.
I take back everything I said. If you like it, you're
fucked.
stupid.
You're stupid and dumb.
No, absolutely not.
Hey,
By the way, it's not a terrible show. It's just I feel like
it's just I fucking hate it.
I don't. Too.
It's not a terrible show. It's just that I fucking hate
I just
it.
wish we would have had that little bit of like, okay, maybe.
I just wish it didn't exist.
Maybe not whole entire episodes dedicated to the flashbacks is all I'm saying.
Can we get some shorts?
Make them 10-minute fucking flashbacks. Get to the goddamn point. Oh, but witches with the force powers. Okay. Hey, we're Jedi. Let's talk to them kids and do a Rorschach test with their fucking mind powers.
And this shitty Apple or this iPad on a stick.
That was a fun scene though when May was clearly like, "Fuck off." It's like the image didn't even generate yet. And Saul's relationship is weird with them, to be honest. Like, he feels compelled. Like, I don't know why he's so compelled to make Osha his Padawan. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be negative. I hate being negative. I really do. I just, and especially because you like it. I don't want to make you feel like you know.
It makes me want to quit. Because you made me feel like shit.
We're gonna have completely simpatico fucking beliefs, okay?
Listen.
You have to like every movie I like.
No. I think definitely it could have been a movie. I think what is the reasoning behind you got to give us, like, we can understand why. Was it Tobin or Torben? Who cares? Fucking dude.
Tobin. It's Tobin.
Shit, dude. Seriously. Hey, it's another white guy Jedi. Big fucking deal.
Again, I will say this. I will say this consistently throughout every episode. The fight scenes, the choreography has been great. I've enjoyed all of the fight scenes.
Well, thank you. I tried very hard.
You're welcome, Tyler. You're such a good. What the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing? You fucking. I didn't know you wire danced.
What point do you have now? Because it ain't gonna top that. I didn't know you wire danced.
I didn't know. So we
wire danced on this little thing called laugh.
We understand Tobin's
Tobin.
compulsion, because he was already complaining about wanting to go back to Coruscant. One of the witches captivated on that and then gave him this power of suggestion, so that when he had a thought that we can do this, that's why he ran off. That's really what started all of this, because Saul went after him. And then he was like, I think they're in trouble. And then Saul fucked it up from there, right?
Yeah.
But.
And she's like, I would have let them go. I would have let Osha go with you. She wanted to go. And I was like, so it makes it seem like he killed her for no reason. So, I mean, yes, I understand where Saul, it's like, I think his obsession with Osha is he can't live with his failure of killing her mom. But. That's the only way I could see that, where he's so like, I think she will be my Padawan. Like,
he thought that they were both there to be sacrificed for some power.
Yeah, or something, yeah.
And he didn't want that to happen. It's like, I don't want to say it's none of your business, because obviously it's children, but if they're children created by the Force.
But you also have no right to take
and it's
these
one
kids.
Being split into two, actually.
Yeah.
Which, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Why?
Thanks, Liam Neeson. I mean, Tyrone Magnus? I can't remember his name.
Oh, I thought that was Shannon Sharp. It sounds like him.
All right.
Jerry!
Did you like I sent Tyler a
fucking
meme.
Meme is so good.
When
the
red
Jerry Seinfeld thing.
When there's a red light episode, where there's a big neon sign that has a red light that's in Kramer's. You know the meme format. He's like, well, nobody trusts each other, Jerry, and it's fucking Kurt Russell with a flare, and then
Next to
Newman's
Kramer.
the head
Yeah.
crab.
I like Jerry's face because he's just kind of like.
It is insane. It blows my mind.
So let's talk about some news, Tyler. News.
No. All right.
Captain America: Brave New World trailer dropped. We also found out it's coming out
February?
Valentine's Day.
Oh.
25.
Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what's coming out in a couple weeks?
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say my album, but fuck you, dude.
Schnickety, schnickety.
Schnickety, schnickety right here, Tyler.
That's my middle finger. If you can't, because you can't see it, it's audio.
You eat shit.
So the trailer drops, and I don't know, man. I feel like I should get off Twitter because it's a cesspool anyway. Mostly populated by racists, and
Well, that's what, like I said, like.
well, it's not just look. You can view this trailer and have criticism of it, and have nothing to do with the fact that it's Sam Wilson, and that's fine, and that's valid. That is valid. But the fact that we've already got, and I intentionally screenshotted it because I didn't want to quote tweet him, and sometimes I fuck that up because I don't want to give these people engagement. But then I'm like, I definitely want you to see this.
Yeah.
He already started the tweet because there's a part in the trailer where Thunderbolt Ross said, Harrison Ford, Thunderbolt Ross says that you may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers. And fucking Nerdrotic shared it and made a meme about it. And I was like, and the grift begins. Like, you could see in that moment. But this is what I keep talking about. We've ever talked about this throughout the show. We've always said there's lines like that in these trailers, in these movies, to get those outrage clicks just like they are, because they're going to game this. Marvel profits off this. Disney profits off this shit too.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to put that on there because they know the Miles Morales shit.
Let me give you all a lesson
Steve
real
Rogers
quick.
is Captain
Let me give
America.
you all a lesson. Back in the 80s, Martin Scorsese. Cinema. Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a story about Jesus when he was with Mary Magdalene. And he called it Passion... Jerry! And they called it Passion of the Christ, starring Willem Dafoe. And nobody had seen it, but Catholic Church groups got wind of certain controversies that were in the movie. I couldn't even tell you what they were. But they went and protested all over the country. And that motherfucker made millions its first week because so many people went to see it, because what's the big deal?
Free press.
Absolutely. So not only do these idiots go out of their way...
I'm so sorry.
Not only do those idiots go out of their way to, protest this stuff, but they bring more people in. There's such a saying as no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah.
And that is true to a point. But when, what are we achieving at this point? At this point in our society, we don't make anything anymore. We consume content and we create content.
Yeah.
Like, we don't actually make anything. And that's really fucking sad. And all we're doing is reacting to everything.
Yeah. And that's honestly, that's the one thing.
That's why we don't have a huge following yet, because we don't play by those rules. We just come on and talk, and then we
try and do things that we talk about and make content that we enjoy,
that we would like.
And
that's when
I'm not
same thing with my music.
I've done like some reaction stuff on this channel, and when I can do it, it is fun. But there are times that I'm like, my thing is like, I don't want to set up a camera. I don't want to pull up all this to watch this trailer, to have a reaction, and then to make sure I have a reaction, but then make sure this reaction doesn't come off fake and it seems genuine. It's all this stuff, and it's like, you know what? At this point, I'm like, I'm just going to watch a fucking trailer and talk about it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, most of the time, there's been a few trailers that have dropped and happened and come out that we haven't talked about, because I'm just like, I just don't care.
I'm always outside of Wi-Fi whenever those things drop. So I'm at work, and like the Wi-Fi reaches out, and it's hitting my phone in my car.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be, because it's too far out. So in other words, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, but the signal's really low, right? So I have to disconnect my Wi-Fi in the middle of watching like the first couple bits, like couple seconds, right? We're talking. I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I'm making sure I'm not going past a certain point before I get it fixed. And I go to settings and everything, and then the sync is off. Right? So I'm like, motherfucker. And then so I realize I'm on Bluetooth and I'm listening to it on the car speakers. So I take it off Bluetooth too.
Oh yeah, because if you listen on Bluetooth, like most cars, like if you watch, like there's a YouTube video, the sync is gonna be off because it's just pulling the audio.
Fucking terrible. So then I get that, and then I go all the way back, and then whatever. I got to see it, and I saw it twice. I think my favorite part, or what I was watching for more than I don't think I saw Tim Blake Nelson. Was he in it?
I don't think he was.
I know we saw Sabra,
See, I'm a little.
who's an Israeli superhero.
See, I'm having.
And we did see what I was hoping to see the whole time.
Yeah, of course. They waited till the very end of the trailer, but before that,
That's cool, dude. That looked cool.
Before that, before we even
Be
get
all
there,
pissy.
so
Don't be pissy.
here's
with
what
me.
I'm thinking. Here's my questions. Red Hulk shows up at the end of the trailer,
Mhm.
right? So we have this confirmed that Thunderbolt Ross is in fact going to turn into Red Hulk. How are they going to beat Red Hulk without Hulk? Because one, where is Hulk?
First
What's
of all,
he doing?
right, and
Sec-
Betty Banner is back. Liv Tyler is back.
Secondly, where is She-Hulk?
Right.
Where is she? Thirdly, unrelated to this movie but still connected. So Deadpool and Wolverine dropped a clip of him about to fight Sabretooth.
Yeah.
One, little worried because the way he was moving was very like fake and CG looking, and I'm
Who?
like, ugh, Deadpool. I'm like, ugh, didn't look good.
Deadpool?
Himself, the
Oh.
way he was moving. When he's taking the knives and swords out of him, he's moving really weirdly, and I'm like, that is not Ryan Reynolds. That is fake. I've heard nothing but good things, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh, is there reviews out yet? Probably.
no, it's weird. I'll explain.
Well, critics might have
it's
seen
a
it
different
by
topic.
now.
It's weird. No, critics have seen they got like a 30-minute showing or something
Oh.
recently, and they said it's pretty incredible and whatever. This first 30 minutes or whatever. But anyway, there's speculation that it's cut and edited weird because of how it looks, and just how it's just kind of cut in a way that like either this isn't the same scene and it's cut
They've
to
done
look.
that before.
Yes, with like Spider-Man, right? So there's people
and,
that
uh,
hold on,
Infinity
hold
War.
on,
God.
hold on.
Great.
The interpretation, there's a rumor, there's a theory, because I want you to get excited because you're going to love this, that after all these years, we're finally going to see Mark Ruffalo's Hulk fight Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in this movie.
That'd be neat.
And I'm like, maybe that's because Hulk is off somewhere else doing something, and that's but I'm just like, because why are we having two Hulk villains in a Captain America movie is what I want to know. And I understand but I thought we were past that little
there's-
rights thing where we can finally make Hulk movies. So I'm
Right,
like, what
but
are we doing here?
Here's the thing: is that Thunderbolts has that asterisk next to it.
Yeah,
And-
because they're changing everything with that.
Well, no, cast members have stated there's a reason for it, that it's added, and Feige said too. Then the movie will make sense why.
that Red Hulk is fighting Captain America.
But there's speculation that Red Hulk will have something to do with Thunderbolts and be a member of the team.
He is in like the Rick.
And his nickname is
I think
Thunder.
the Rick Remender.
And his
Rick
name.
Remender?
His name is Thunderbolt.
Fuck it, give me Hulk Agents of Smash. That's what I want. You ever watch that cartoon?
No.
It was fun.
I know what you're talking about though. No, I didn't, but I know
See,
what
my
you're
son,
talking
I think
about.
my son loves Spider-Man.
Yeah,
But I think
he likes Iron Man better. I think.
I don't know, man. I think he's really into Hulk too because he talks about Hulk a lot.
I used to run around with nothing but my long johns on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Hulk only just had his pants on, and I used to run around when I was a little kid, like 4 or 5 years old, and pretend I was the Hulk. And my mom would be like, "Oh, you're scary."
One more thing about this trailer as we wrap it up.
My mom's great.
Yeah, I love how we have very little.
Well,
I love,
she, you know,
I love how
she
most
did-
of the time we don't even analyze the trailer.
Some parents would have looked at the kid and been like, "What are you doing?" You know.
I think the most of the time we don't even analyze the trailers, which is funny, is we mostly just theorize, which is
I have no. It didn't
There's
really show what it's about.
no. But what it did, what I think was effective, is it says, okay, yes, we're committed. Yes, Ross is turning to Red Hulk.
Yep.
We're gonna commit to
Yep,
that.
yep.
We didn't see the leader. That's fine. Keep him quiet. Don't want to see anything else.
Fine.
But we're setting the tone of what it's going to be, and it to me feels like they're going back to the Winter Soldier roots.
Sure.
And doing. They realize, okay, what people like from these Captain America movies, they love these like political
Yeah.
thrillers.
Okay,
so,
cool.
And that's what this feels like.
I don't
and
want to
think that's-
speculate
and
because I don't know.
no,
what,
but I feel like that's the tone that it's presenting,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and that excites me because
Yeah.
I do think that I've enjoyed, and most of the people that I've talked to, they feel like Captain America was more interesting with Winter Soldier and Civil War and like that, because it was more of him being like an operative.
Here's the other thing,
you know what I mean?
is that and here's the thing, absolutely, man, like a fucking like
an
like
actual
a
military
board identity dude with a fucking a costume
with
and a shield, right?
A brightly colored uniform.
But here's the fucking best part is that, and we saw this in Falcon and Winter Soldier. There are so many really kick-ass action.
Oh, and the fact that he can fly adds so many
Right.
aspects
There's
to
so
this.
many new opportunities and so much more space
And,
for those sequences to go.
I cannot
I'm
wait,
excited.
and I cannot fucking wait to see. Like, I think, like, I really do think Marvel did a really good job of playing this slow game with Sam. Because I truly think most people, myself included, really thought they were going to go the comics route and, like, traditionally comics route and go, like, maybe Sam becomes him later, becomes Cap later, but we're going to do the Bucky thing. And then the fact that, like, in Endgame, they're like, no, Sam is the more deserving guy. Because Bucky never truly gets... I mean, you could say he gets redemption because, yes, he was brainwashed. But even Bucky is like, no, I did some horrible shit. I can't be this guy. And like
when Anthony Mackie first shows up in Winter Soldier, okay, and there's chemistry with him and Chris Evans,
and I've loved him as Sam.
But
I've loved him throughout every.
I honestly, after that movie, I was like, what are they going to do with Falcon? I really didn't think they were going to do anything with him. Then he showed up in Civil War. He kept showing up in these bit parts, and that character
he shows
is
up in Ant-Man.
Right, that character is rewarded by being what he becomes in the comics, which is the next Captain America.
And that's one of my favorite bits about.
And he's totally deserving of the mantle because he understands exactly what Steve Rogers understood about the mantle, which is that it is a big responsibility, but not to any government and not to any government entity.
Which is why we have that
they're
friction
saying,
in
right.
this trailer where Ross was like, I want it to be a military rank again. And like Sam is like, I will help you, but like, there's pushback because he's like, and then he's like saying, I wouldn't trust your inner circle, and then there's like the whole conflict there. But dude, it's gonna be fun and interesting to see Sam Wilson's Captain America with like the aspects of him having the wings and flying, trying to but no other like abilities, fighting a Hulk.
Yeah.
And how he's going to beat that. And it's like, that's such an interesting...
He's got armor, but it's very limited, and it's
so
more
much
for
stakes.
like bullets.
Yeah.
Like if a Hulk got a hold of him, he's fucked.
If he slams him on the ground, he's not like Loki
dead.
in them. He's dead. He's
dead.
fucking
like the
mist.
first time.
Pink mist. That's it.
The first time every bone in his body is broken and his skull is crushed.
But it adds stakes. It adds so much stakes because, we don't know where Hulk is, and most people are like, if there's no She-Hulk, if there's no banners, what are we going to do? Or sorry, well, she's in a banner, but she's in the bloodline. But I'm interested how the leader is interpreted. I do feel a little bummed out that 2 Hulk villains are put in a Captain America movie. I hope it's some way.
I'm okay with
maybe
it.
Hulk shows up in this. Maybe he shows up in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm
and there's
okay
some
with
other
it
thing
because
with that. I don't know.
there's precedent from the comics. There was like a whole thing called Acts of Vengeance back in the 80s, and what it was these like 4 or 5 supervillains got all the villains together, A, B, and C list villains, and said, hey, you know who you usually fight? This guy? Well, what if you fought this guy? Because you always lose against... So like, hey, your whirlwind, you always fight against. So
you're saying you're supportive of this being a precedent of being like, okay, we're gonna play around with maybe not. We're not gonna put like Joker in a Superman movie or something like that.
No,
but say like okay, let's do what this is doing with a little bit more of a traditional Hulk villain or Hulk villains, and like we've seen it happen before. I mean. In the comics, Kingpin was a Spider-Man villain that Frank Miller and other writers decided that he was also a Daredevil villain and a Punisher villain.
Exactly,
So there's precedent precedence in the comics, so I'm not against it happening in the movies, and I kind of like it because it's the little kid in me who has the action figures who wants to be like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if Captain America fought Red Hulk?
I'm still interested in who the fuck Giancarlo Esposito's character is.
I've heard he's one of the dudes from the Six Pack.
Cable's outfit?
Let me pull it
there's
up.
at the Wild Bunch.
Hold on.
Oh, is he G.W. Bridge?
I think so. George Washington Bridge. Yeah. And the Six Pack. I think that's the connection.
Well, I think he's got like
I'm excited now because I'm like, it's pretty
cybernetic
obscure.
arms. I think in the comics.
Dude, but that's such an interesting.
Because every one of them has like some sort of superpower.
But I hope he said it's like nothing he's done before, and I'm hoping that he is doing like he's not doing the traditional like the deep voice, cool, interesting villain type. Like I would love to see him be like, no, I'm just here to fucking kill Captain America. You know what I mean?
All I know is that before I die, I really, really hope that I get a chance to hang out with Spike Lee and Giancarlo Esposito, like on that car commercial. That sounds like, honestly, it would be the chillest, coolest. The music would be awesome. The drinks would be great. The ladies, of course. Of course those guys are going to bring the ladies, bro.
So according to Wikipedia, yes, he is a part of the Six Pack and S.H.I.E.L.D.
G.W. Bridge.
Yeah, so he has no superhuman abilities, but is trained in hand-to-hand combat and the use of firearms and is a skilled strategist. As a high-ranking member of S.H.I.E.L.D., he has contracts all over the world and has access to advanced tech. Okay, so let me tell you this.
Why don't you tell me about it?
I could see what you're saying, like maybe he's enhanced, but what I would love is if we see what if the MCU does what like Jason Aaron has done with like that Punisher book, and I've seen it and other writers have done it in the comics, where it's like, okay, George Washington Bridge has a fucking Hulk cannon. Or like,
oh yeah,
yes, like this is a way we introduce like, okay, because they have toyed around with
introduce AIM.
They have planted that seed since the first Avengers movie. Because the first
AIM.
Avengers movie, if you remember, they were trying to take the energy from the Tesseract to build weapons, and they had a big fight about it in the helicarrier. I'm like, why not bring that kind of aspect back? Because we've talked about it with Vulture in the Spider-Man movie, like it's again. Precedent. Like you could easily wove him in.
Precedence. We like that word. We're going to use
maybe
it a couple more times.
Maybe he has a face turn and he helps Captain America because he has a fucking Hulk cannon that takes down Red Hulk.
There's precedence for that.
Precedence.
There's precedence for this president.
All right. Last bit of news before we get to the long box.
Wait a second. How long have we been doing it?
A little bit over an hour.
I don't know if we need long box this week.
We can do long box and chop this out.
It's just
it's a quick topic. We're going to the rumor mill.
Rumor. My fingers.
Call Adele because rumor has it that Booster Gold might be cast for the DCU. Because remember they were talking about making a Booster Gold series.
I will say,
and we had speculated that maybe this was going to be James Gunn reuniting with Chris Pratt in the DCU. But the rumor right now floating around is it's Kumail Nanjiani is going to be Booster Gold. And I think that is a genius cast.
Yeah, he could definitely.
Because he still has that look like he had from Eternals, and he has comedic chops. We know that.
Yes. And he's charming as fuck.
And
he's very affable.
And it would be fun to follow his Booster Gold. So I hope this is true. I think this is a really solid cast. And that's really all I have to say about it. We don't know anything else. It's just a rumor that that he is going to be.
By the way, Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner haircut looks fucking terrible.
Well, there's a big complaint about
CG.
Well, did you see the set leaks of their costumes or their suits?
I saw there was other thing.
They all look like Mr. Terrifics.
Yeah.
So the implication is that like they're like corporatized, like the
sure,
JSA
probably.
got corporatized or something like that.
They're probably Maxwell Lord. Yeah. Probably.
I think the suit looks great. I think the logo looks great. I think
His
people
hair
are
looks stupid. But Guy Gardner's haircut is stupid.
We're a year away, man. We've already passed.
You're a year away.
That's the thing. a year from now, we've already have seen this movie, and we're going to be
My
talking
mic
about
smells like ass.
It's because I farted on it when you were upstairs.
I farted on it. Now you got pink eye.
My friend.
My friend.
My friend.
Pink eye. Son of a bitch. Yeah. Why are we singing? Are we done? Are we out? Are we out of here? Are we Audi 5Gs? Are we Audi 5000?
I want to
Like
see
the
how
car.
long you can fucking
Are we out like shout?
Ice Station Zebra.
It's a long box.
All right, I'll go first, you pile.
Fucking pile of shit.
I want to talk about The Naked Gun. So last night, Saturday night, my wife and I were just hanging out, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to start doing this thing where it's like, let's watch a movie from my past, my childhood.
More like my past.
Well, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
I was raised on these movies.
Here's what we're gonna
But
do.
anyway, so
Can I please? We're going to do long box this week, but we're both talking
about this movie.
Yes,
Okay.
I will save mine for another
Fine,
time.
Fine.
But I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your whole thing, and
So
then we'll
anyway,
both.
I was raised on this movie.
Me,
And she had not really watched it
too.
all the way through, or she had seen bits of it or whatever. So we watched The Naked Gun.
Such a great
And
movie.
I would not, I didn't really think that I would laugh at it as much, because like comedy is, not all of it.
The opening sequence with the siren and the
Not all of it holds up.
the
you know
siren
what I
on the car going to weird places is great.
mean? Clearly, it would not have been in like a house, and like the way that it navigates through a fucking shower room, like a bathroom, and like, oh my god. My name's Lieutenant Frank Drebin. Don't ever let me catch you guys in the U.S. of A. And he, bang, bang.
Classic.
Well, but I'd seen that movie so many times, and it was funny that I was laughing at things that I already had been laughing at, but then there's bits that I was not picking up on when I was younger that I see now and I'm laughing at, like the one early on when he's talking to Nordberg after he's been shot, and he says drugs, trying to tell him there's drugs on the boat,
Yeah.
and he goes heroin, and he goes, get this man some drugs, can't you see he's in pain? He goes, no, heroin, and he goes,
That's a
tall order there. I fucking lost it because I didn't remember that bit. And so there's just so many, and then the bribe bit is still funny, and like there's so many elements of it I still cackled at.
Where
Like,
he drives up and knocks the guy
but
off
she's
the
like
pier.
climbing up to an attic, and he's looking up her dress, and he goes, nice beaver, and it's a fucking stuffed beaver. And it's just, you watch a movie like that from your childhood, and I think, wow, I didn't realize why I love stupid puns so much, and like so much of my sense of humor and personality is formed by these kind of movies because I watched it so many. Like even before this, I watched Airplane. I watched all these slapstick, absurd comedies, and it's just like I remember. I always talk about watching 80s action movies with my dad, but we watched all kind of movies together, and we also had an affinity for like Hot Shots and the Naked Gun
Well,
movies.
he ends up
Airplane, all of
on
them.
top of the queen in the cake
And it looks
at their
like,
whole thing.
yeah.
'Cause
No, just like aspects of it where I just can't believe I've missed things. Like when he's going to talk to get information about Nordberg, and he parks the car and he hits a fucking fisherman off the dock. I don't remember that. And I started laughing. And then
such a great fucking
there's
movie.
so many little puns. And then
Enrico Palazzo.
you truly appreciate the fact that how many goddamn jokes are thrown at you in 80 minutes.
Yes, the
like
best-
it's insane.
I gotta say, my favorite part, or I'm gonna say that a lot, so shut the fuck up. But I am.
Listen, I'll tell you what I like. Dang it.
No, I'm gonna say like my favorite
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Just bear with me. But one of my favorite parts is when the first pitch is thrown, and he's like,
And he starts dancing.
Yeah, but then it just
I
gets
know,
progressive.
man.
It just gets
Got
progressively
Randy
like
Newman.
strang. Hey. And And then he starts calling it before the ball even gets to the fucking glove.
Yeah.
Strike, yeah. And they're just like, what the fuck?
Or when they couldn't get the out at the 7-inning
Oh,
stretch.
my God.
So he kept calling a ball.
But he kept throwing ball. And then he
He's
threw
like,
the
now there's
balls
a
up.
tie-up between.
Then he pulls the gun on the catcher. He's like, whoa, sorry, man.
Right, he was safe. He was safe. They got their hands up. What's even better is one of my favorite jokes
Kill the queen.
is when they show there's 7 play-by-play fucking commentators.
And at the end, they all start crying and hugging each other.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
And then they were
But
showing
great.
they were showing like baseball folly bloopers, and the guy gets decapitated.
Yes. Or the car. The car is on the fucking. Or the tiger just starts biting the dudes. No, one thing, if you know anything about broadcasting, sports broadcasting in particular, all of those guys, I think Al Michaels, Bob Costas are there, but all those guys
Those
are
were
like
actually like real commentators.
real, like long-time legendary fucking sports
Now the baseball guy
broadcasters.
had been in yeah.
I can't remember all of them.
When I
but
think of baseball, I think of that dude's voice who is in
Holy
this movie.
cow.
Yeah. He said tie up between second and third, and now both the umpires are involved, and they're like tossing the balls. What? Jeez, man, what a movie! And like the fucking when they
there's a line
have their date and they do all this stuff, and it's like, oh, I can't believe we did that all in a day.
No,
They clothesline him on the beach.
they're running along, and another couple's coming, and they're like, "Fuck you!" And
Yeah.
they just wham.
And they're getting magic tattoos, and it's just fucking what a like. And again, it's just like it's so I've seen that movie so many times. It's like Blazing Saddles.
Tells me I'm into something good.
It's like it's like these movies and those Mel Brooks movies where I can just keep watching them over and over again. Like there's something to be said about a really absurd comedy.
You know what? You know what? The secret to all these great movies that traffic in this absurdity. The secret to all of this is that everybody
committed.
is playing it straight.
Leslie Nielsen is in a hard-boiled cop movie.
Yes.
And there's just absurd shit happening around him.
Yeah.
Because he plays everything straight.
He has to play it,
And he plays it like he did in
believes
his
everything.
career.
Yes.
Like he was a dramatic. Like I was talking to my wife about it. Of like the fact that he came to it so late in his career. Like this was a renaissance for him of being this silly character.
He'd really been a bit player forever,
he'd been
for
like
decades.
He'd been
And
in
then
like cowboy
Airplane-
dramas, and
Airplane
spaghetti
kinda
westerns.
gave him space
Yeah.
to actually get hired.
And then this was being like, and like that's what I said. I was like, this movie only works because of him, like because he is so fucking funny at everything he does in this, and like, and I said, there's something. Of course, it's over the top and ridiculous, but there's so much to be said about the subtle jokes in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Of like, oh god, what was it? It's early on
When he kills the fighting swordfish with the pen.
or the I want to take a dinghy. No, I had one early this morning at the meeting. But or he's talking about his ex-wife, and she's everything reminds me of her, and she's
the big
look like two big boobs.
two big boobs.
All
All I heard is that
he's a gymnast, and it's the best sex she's ever had. But he said the dude says something in the car, like it's early on in the movie, and Leslie Nielsen just looks at him like, "What the fuck did you just say?" But I can't remember what it was. Or I remember when he does the pat down and he's patting down the other cops' fucking pockets, and he's like, "What about this?" And it's a gun.
Yeah.
It's a picture of your wife. Anybody else got any pictures of his wife? All right, that's enough, Frank.
Another favorite part of mine is the Enrico Palazzo shit.
Because he shoots him and he goes, "Why?"
Yeah.
Don't worry, he'll be up in a couple minutes.
Yeah, he'll. He shoots the
That dude's
captain or whatever.
funny too. The
George.
captain is underrated.
Fuck. I can't remember, but he was a dramatic actor in the 60s and 70s. I've seen him in a bunch
that's what I mean.
of
Like
shit.
that's a bit. That's
like
the
westerns and stuff.
That was the whole point of these
But
slapstick movies. Was they were hiring dramatic
he's
actors to say ridiculous shit.
He's so nervous during the baseball game to make sure that everything goes
Yeah.
right that they just keep him showing him different
Eating all the different foods.
things. Like somebody
A
passed him
fucking
like
cake.
a fucking cake and like he's got a fucking popsicle and then he's got fucking coffee and and the queen gets a hot dog and there's a finger in it.
yeah.
Oh, it's that one guy's finger.
Ricardo Montalban.
No, it's that one guy's finger from remember they're having the fight
Oh, he kills
above
him
the
with the
hot
meat.
dog.
I forgot about that bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
Ricardo
the toxic
Montalban finds
waste,
the
by
finger.
the way.
Yeah, Ricardo Montalban
But
finds
yeah,
the
another
finger.
thing too, Ricardo Montalban. Con. They got fucking
Classic.
Con to be
Dude,
in that movie.
Classic.
Oh, the fucking. When he. It's just every scene he's in, it's just ridiculous, man. And the fact that I found out that he does, like when he was doing interviews, he would bring like whoopee cushions, so it sounded like he was farting during the interviews, just to fuck with people, because that's just the silly dude that he was. And I was like, it also doesn't.
Leslie.
It also doesn't help that he kind of looked like my grandpa, so it makes me laugh even harder.
my mom was telling me that like he was one of those actors that like you knew because he was so good looking.
Yeah, like his younger days, he was a good looking dude.
Just dude.
But I've only known him as old Leslie Nielsen. I don't know if I'm gonna go back and watch the other two because if I remember, it's the law of diminishing returns. Where the second one is okay, and the
I'll
third one
say
is like,
this.
meh.
The second one is watchable and worth it.
Third one, it's
The
like,
third one is literally an excuse to say we almost showed you Anna Nicole Smith's tits, but we didn't, and also way transphobic.
oh yeah,
Way
Yeah,
transphobic.
yeah.
Like the big twist at the end.
reminds me a lot of
Other than
Ace
that,
Ventura.
Other than that,
Eh.
it's
Yeah.
really not worth watching. The jokes are not worth watching.
Again, it
Maybe check out the opening sequence with the siren
only works
in that one
It
because
only
it's not bad. But yeah,
you can only do it so many times. You can only go to the well so many times, and I feel like 2 movies is plenty.
we haven't seen a good movie like that from people.
Naked Gun 2.5.
No, just
the
any-
smell of fear. By the way,
Like-
does that have anything to do with the plot of this movie?
I don't know. Well, he does. At one point, they drop him into a sewage, and the bad guys catch him. And the bad guy's about to do his monologue, and he's like, what is that smell? And Leslie Nielsen is like, oh, that's me. I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it. Because he's bugged, and that's the key.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Love it.
Isn't that the third movie?
Second.
Is it the second?
Yeah, Robert Goulet is the villain in the second
Oh yeah,
one.
Robert Goulet.
And what's his name? Fred
Is
Ward is
the dude in the
third
wheelchair?
one. No, that's the second one.
Yeah, that's the second one.
Bob Goulet is the villain, but what's her name works for the guy in the wheelchair. The guy in the wheelchair is an
Priscilla
environmentalist.
Presley works for
Is
him.
an environmentalist. I don't want to tell you.
Yeah, why are we doing over the plot of the second Naked Gun movie?
Well, first thing that happens is that Robert Goulet comes in, he sings a fucking song, and he goes, "My
And it goes a little bit like this.
It's Robert Goulet. I'm going down to the store. Goulet. Robert Goulet. Somebody bring me a cigarette and a scotch, please.
Really missed opportunity. They could have had a restaurant, Goulet's Goulash.
Goulet's goulash. Come on in. We have both Hungarian and Siberian goulash. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.